When you go to Montreal, one of the most iconic things that you have to try is their poutine. We're gonna go to two of their most famous places. They're like side by side on the same street. And we're gonna try it out and tell you which one is the best poutine place to try when you come to Montreal. The first place, Poule Mouilee, is actually a chicken joint. They sell grilled chicken and they got a poutine with cheese, grilled chicken, and chorizo. So the poutine is actually very flavorful. I actually find it slightly salty, but the chicken itself, very delicious, tender, has a really great flavor. Chorizo, obviously a nice sausage. And the fries itself were cooked nicely, not like too soggy or too crispy for a poutine. So this place is really popular, obviously, so there's always a line. So for this place, I think the line that we had was just around the corner and there was a bench there. That only took us maybe like 15-20 minutes to get in and get our poutine. So it's actually not like too bad of a wait. It's actually very doable. They also make the poutine fresh and hot right in front of your eyes. Once you order it, they start chopping up the chicken, start putting in the fries, assembling everything together, and get really hot gravy so that it actually melts some of that cheese. So you're not just have giant chunks of cheese, but they're kind of melted into the fries and the gravy with all the chicken and the chorizo together. It's like such a great combination of flavors, very savory, salty, and overall it's pretty delicious. The second place across the street is called La Banquise, and we got their La Sud-Ouest. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it has bacon, guacamole, chipotle, and onion ring. They said this is one of their most popular and one of their best poutines that they got at the place. And honestly, after eating it all, it's extremely disappointing. Extremely. Even though they made it fresh, everything was like lukewarm to cold. I don't know why that's the case. And because they're putting so much sauce into it, the onion rings were soggy as hell. They weren't crispy anymore. So you have like the soggy batter and then like some onions inside. It's not that nice. And I don't know about you, but guac and gravy is not really a great combination. They're kind of confusing. I don't think it's great. And overall, I don't think there was anything special. Like, there was nothing exceptional about this poutine. You could go to any other place and I think you can get a poutine as good, if not better than this. So I don't know what the hell the hype is about. It's hyped up like crazy. So when you're there, there's two lines. There's one to eat in, one to do takeout. So obviously we're doing takeout and the line moves pretty quick. I think it may be about like a 15-minute wait time when we were there and we were able to order. But here's the kicker. You order and you have to wait another 30 to 45 minutes for your fucking poutine. And it's infuriating. How hard is it to assemble poutine? How long do you need? I don't think they're making like the fries that fresh because they clearly weren't hot. And then the onion rings weren't hot. There's nothing that seemed to be like freshly made. So why the hell does it take so long to get people their poutine? And don't think because I'm so like heated about this that I gave the food itself a bad rating because of the service. No, the food actually wasn't that good either. So why the hell are people going there? I have no idea. I think the only draw they have is that they're open 24/7. So you can go there in the middle of the night. Maybe there's no line. Then it's fine. You can have some drunk food and maybe it tastes fine. If you're a tourist, you're there on a time crunch, you got other things you want to be doing in the city, waiting an hour and a half for your fucking poutine is not worth it. It's not worth it at all. I say skip this place completely, go to Poule Mouilee, and you'll get much better experience because you don't have to wait as long. The food actually tastes good. So now that you guys know, don't waste your time when you go to Montreal. Don't waste your time with this place. Go to better spots with better poutine. Check out Poule Mouilee. And if you disagree with me, feel free to leave it in the comments down below and let's have a debate over it because I'm extremely disappointed. You can hear it in my voice. I'm pissed about this.
So aside from poutine, you want to know what else is there to do in Montreal? And we went to a couple cool places, so I'll tell you about them. So first is Old Port Montreal. So this is like, if you can think of Lakeshore, or Harborfront, just right out on the water. And they have a whole line of just like tiny shops. You can buy like watches, rings, like little like souvenirs or whatever you can find there. There's tons of stuff there. And they even have this like zip lining, which isn't probably like the most scenic, but it can still be fun if you want to do something like that. So they got like multiple things that you can do, and it looks like a fun time. So across the water is the Formula One track called Cirque Villeneuve or something like that. But it's a really cool thing. You can go out on the track itself. You can either bike, walk, or you can drive it. But if you're thinking you're gonna drive like a Formula One driver on that, you're mistaken. There's a speed limit of like 30 kilometers per hour. So you're not going fast, but it's really cool to actually be out on the track itself, see all the different twists and turns, and just like feel a part of that experience. If you're a fan of Formula One, it's kind of cool to just like be there and actually be on the same track that they drive on. You pass by all the garages. And one of the surprising things to me was seeing the curbs. Like they're actually much like higher than I thought they'd be, and they're like bumpy as hell, which you can't even capture on camera, but it's a really cool experience. And we just kind of walked around the entire track. I thought it was great. It might take you about like an hour and a half if you're walking the entire thing, but if you're doing another form of transportation, it'll be pretty quick. And right in the middle of the entire track is the Casino de Montreal. And for any of you that have never been to Montreal, the age to gamble, I think, is only 18. So even if you're pretty young, you can go there and you can have a good time. And if you're walking the track, you want a tiny break, go gamble a couple bucks. Hopefully you win, and then continue the rest of the way. For some more cultural sites, you can visit St. Joseph's Oratory of Mount Royal. This is just a really gigantic church cathedral. I don't know the difference. And from the outside, you can see how beautiful it is, like the different type of architecture and the thought that goes behind building such like a gigantic building. When you walk inside the actual church part of it, where you have mass, it's really beautifully done. The lighting, the sculptures on the side of the walls, and they have this gigantic organ. So like the piano organs, they have a gigantic one, and it just looks so like daunting. And if you ever watch like Fan the Opera, that's the kind of vibe that you get from this organ. Someone actually played it. I don't think they're supposed to, but they did, and it sounded really, really nice. One of the other things that they got is a really big lookout, so you can actually step out on to that lookout and you can see all of Montreal, which is really, really cool. It's a really sick view, especially when the weather's nice. You get to see the entire city, and from like a different vantage point that's like higher up, and it's just an amazing view. They also have something called the Garden of the Way of the Cross, and this I think is for the people that are a little bit more religious, or if you're just interested in it, you can take this walk too. As you're walking through this garden, you're kind of being taken through the story of Jesus from the beginning of before he got onto the cross to that, and then the resurrection. So if you're religious, this could be a very cool thing for you to walk through. But even if you're not, like the sculptures, the garden itself, it's really cool to walk through. So check it out if you want to enjoy that. There's also another church called Notre Basilica of Montreal. It's another supposed to be very beautiful church. Unfortunately, we weren't able to go inside, but even from the outside and they have like an almost like entire open area with a statue. It's a really cool area just to visit. If you get the chance to go inside, I hear that it's really beautiful in there. But unfortunately, we weren't able to. Well, these are just some of the things that you can do in Montreal aside from all the eating. So do your research before you go, find all the fun things to do. And I really hope you enjoy Montreal when you go visit. Hope you enjoyed the video. Smash that like button, sub to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.